Something that kind of, in a way, comes at me with these investments that they're making. When you keep asking the management, so what sector are you most optimistic about? He keeps mentioning, the CEO, Bob Van Dyke, he keeps mentioning food delivery and classifieds and all these sectors. And I'm like, they have this great asset with Tencent. They keep receiving the dividends every, say, quarter or something. And the money is being invested into a sector like food delivery when they could clearly be going into, like sort of like home run things, home run opportunities, like swing for the fences kind of opportunities. But they're going for all these low margin sort of businesses that have very low barriers to entry, a lot of competition. That's where I see management destroying value. Like, what about the sectors that the company's getting into? Do you guys have thoughts about that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you about the race to the bottom in the food delivery industry. The one area that I'm actually interested in is the ed tech space that they're getting into. I think there's a little bit more of room to sort of build your moat in that space. I mean, they've acquired Stack Overflow, which is something I use every single day. Of course, I have never paid for it, but I'd be interested to kind of see the monetization and the returns that they're making from companies like that. And Code Academy and Udemy, all those are well known to me at least. So yeah, I'm interested in that.
Yeah, but the size of the company, even if they spend like, say, few hundred million into an investment, into a new acquisition, it really has very little impact on the overall company because of Tencent, because of the stake in Tencent. So that kind of comes into the spawner framework that Bryce mentioned. So, Brad, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I haven't dug too much into the kinds of companies that they're acquiring. It's mostly been, all right, how are they going to, close this gap by, shifting operations essentially to the Netherlands, where regulations aren't as tough and the tax issues aren't as severe. Yeah, it's really just something I've started scratching the surface on. One thing I was intrigued by, Jean-Pierre Verster, manager of Protea Capital Management. I saw he gave a talk through MOI Global, Manual of Ideas, in 2018, kind of highlighting his investment case for Naspers. It was his best idea in 2018. And so I reached out to him on Twitter. He sent me this like 12-minute interview he did. And he really gets into some interesting points around Naspers and Prosus and how he also thinks they're going to be kind of migrating over to Prosus over time. And that, you can't really take what's happening at surface level with Naspers. You could easily make the inference based on what's been happening that they're destroying value and they don't know what they're doing. They're incompetent. But he touched on, how, the laws could change in terms of how they're trying to migrate value over to Prosus if they revealed exactly what their plan was. So it's really interesting looking at it from that perspective.
It's investing with a bit of hope in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a variant perception, right? I don't know how much of it is hope and how much of it is just really understanding the situation better than the majority of other investors who are involved with Naspers. Could be either one.